Hey witches, it's Willow Moonlight. I am just on the way home from the grocery store. I always take the trail whenever I go for my groceries. Today is starting to warm up. I never know how to dress for the weather in May because it gets really cold and then it's really hot. So anyways, I am getting close to home and I will show you what I am going to make today. Alright, so we are going to make a chicken Florentine meatballs and veggie noodles. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to need 2 cups of spinach, and which I have right here. And you want those cups to be tightly packed. Alright, so now we are just gonna wash and dry the spinach. Alright, and now what you want to do is you just want to put your spinach here in a pot, like this. And then just add a little bit of water to the pot, just like that. And we're gonna put this on the stove and just cook this down until it is wilted. While our spinach is on the stove, we're gonna cut up an onion and our mushrooms. You also want to cut up really small some mushrooms, some cremini mushrooms. I'm gonna take the stems out of the mushrooms, and you'll want a cup of them. And that's about a cup. So once your spinach has wilted down to about this, just let it cool down until it is a little bit easier to manage with your hands. And then we are gonna take this to a pot on the stove. All right, I'm gonna try this camera angle for cooking. And then we add the mushroom. So once the mushrooms and onions are cooked down, the recipe says to add a clove of garlic. So I'm gonna add 3 cloves. And just give that a good mix. All right, so the spinach has cooled down. Believe it or not, this was 2 cups of spinach. And you want to take just a piece of cheesecloth and put your spinach in. And you just want to drain out all of that excess water. It's fully drained. That was 2 cups. All right, so we're gonna take our spinach out of the cheesecloth. And we're just gonna chop it up a little bit. And now we're gonna take our chopped spinach and we're gonna place it in a bowl. Just use the one from earlier. You also want the zest of half a lemon, or about that anyway. Okay, now you want to add about 2 tablespoons of minced tarragon. I'm just gonna take the scissors and just incorporate it this way. Now you want to add about a teaspoon of cumin here. And just, oh, that's probably more than a teaspoon. And a little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. We are going to add our onion mushroom mixture. Okay. We're going to add our ground chicken. There we are. We are just going to incorporate all of this together. Next, you're going to want to shape these into meatballs and transfer them onto a baking dish lined or baking tray lined with parchment paper, and put these into a 350-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. So here are the meatballs. They're just waiting to go into the oven. The meatballs are in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes. So for this next part, you are going to need some basil, some mint, some parsley, 3 zucchinis, 2 carrots, and a third of a cup of Parmesan cheese. So the first thing that we want to do is spiralizing your vegetables. My spiralizer is still down home, so I'm hoping that probably by the end of the month, early next month, I'll be home for a visit and I can grab it again. But for now, I am just going to use my veggie slicer here that I got, and I'm gonna make some noodle shapes, or slices with the vegetable peeler, and I'm gonna put that all in a big bowl. And also make sure that your vegetables have been washed beforehand. Okay, and then after that, you want to also do the same for your carrots. Okay, so now you're just going to mix this very well together. There, and now we're gonna add our herbs here. So I'm just gonna grab my cutting board again and my knife. So we want roughly a third of a cup of herbs. Cut these up a little bit more with the knife. I'm just going to cut a few of those in there. I know it's not really the proper way of doing it, but I had a long day of walking to get groceries. Well, first I had to take a bus to get the first load, and then, then a 45-minute walk to and from the second grocery store. So getting groceries is kind of an all-day thing for me. But sometimes, or usually, I would have someone take me to get groceries. There. And we'll just kind of slice that in. Roughly chop those. And we are going to add it into our bowl. I recommend that you do this in a bigger bowl. However, my big bowl is currently dirty from the meatball mixture. So you put that in. And we're also going to add a little bit of black pepper. And I gotta open up this, and I'm just gonna use my regular cheese grater because I don't have one of those cranky, I don't have one of those, oh God, those cheese graters that has the crank on it. So I'm gonna open this up. And we're just gonna add roughly 1/3 of a cup. Mix this again, probably a lot easier with a bigger bowl. Oh, everything smells so good in here. All right, I just heard my timer go off. I'm gonna take the meatballs out of the oven. And here are the meatballs. Now that they are done, they look great and they smell really, really good. And this is what it looks like all plated up. I think it turned out really good. Can't wait to try it.